Today, we're taking a closer look at Rhodiola Rosea and Ashwagandha, two plants with unpronounceable names. One thrives in the cold and mountains, while the other loves to soak up the sun. The pill? Both are considered adaptogens with similar effects in some ways, but each has its own unique qualities. It's a bit like your best friend. You share a lot, but you each have your own personality. So we're going to compare these two adaptogens, their benefits, their dosages, and most importantly, which one to choose depending on your goals. Let's start with their active compounds, which are different. Ashwagandha contains Withanolides, while Rhodiola Rosea contains Rosavins and salidroside. So yes, they're different, but both act on cortisol, the stress hormone. But how exactly do they work? Rhodiola Rosea is still a bit more mysterious in that regard, whereas with Ashwagandha, we know it acts on the HPA axis, which is super powerful and anabolic. No, I'm just kidding. The HPA is the body's stress management system, made up of the hypothalamus, the pituitary gland, and the adrenal glands. Each part sends the right signal to release hormones, which ultimately leads to the production of cortisol. So if we reduce cortisol, we reduce stress. And we know that chronic stress can lead to all kinds of problems like sleep disorders, weight gain, anxiety, lowered immunity, recovery issues, or fertility problems. And according to studies done so far, ashwagandha could be helpful if you have these symptoms. But then, what do we know about Rhodiola Rosea? This one, hidden away in its mountains, doesn't reveal its secrets about how it works. To this day, we just don't know. We have some theories, but nothing concrete. And that's partly because, unlike ashwagandha, which is the most studied adaptogen in the world, thanks to the big brands backing it, but still, we do have research showing benefits that we'll look at right now. So, Rhodiola Rosea may also help reduce cortisol, but this time in a more balanced way, not too high, not too low, and it seems to stimulate the central nervous system, which could explain its effectiveness in reducing fatigue and stress, as well as improving concentration. In studies, it was observed that these effects were even more pronounced when it was taken during periods of intense stress, not to mention its ability to optimize both mental and physical performance.
Just tell me which one to take, please.
From my point of view, if I had to choose between the two, I would choose Rhodiola Rosea for two main reasons. One is that its name is much easier to pronounce, and the other is because we don't sell ashwagandha. No, but seriously, it depends on your needs and the benefits you're looking for. Both plants have positive effects on athletic performance, recovery, stress, anxiety, mood, cognitive function, the immune system, and inflammation. If your priority is to improve your sleep or boost your testosterone levels, then ashwagandha is the best choice. On the other hand, if your goal is to reduce fatigue and regain daily energy, or to lower your perceived exertion during workouts, then Rhodiola Rosea is more suitable. It is especially useful for competitors or during exam periods that require intense mental focus, as it provides better mental clarity, and also for those who tend to lose a bit of control during stressful times. It's important to note that these two plants should not be taken at the same time. Rhodiola Rosea should be taken in the morning, because it helps reduce fatigue and therefore it gives you extra energy, whereas ashwagandha has a more relaxing effect, making it ideal to take in the evening before going to bed. As for dosages, what are the recommended amounts? That will depend on the extract being used. For example, with Rhodiola Rosea, the recommendations vary depending on the concentration of the active ingredient. A formula standardized to 3% Rosavin and 1% salidroside won't have the same recommendations as a more concentrated extract like ours. Where's ours? Like ours, which is standardized to 5% Rosavin and 1.8% salidroside. It's a bit like dark chocolate. If you're looking for the benefits of cocoa, then a dark chocolate with 50% cocoa won't have the same properties as one with 80%. In studies, Rhodiola Rosea has shown its effectiveness starting at 50 milligrams per day. That was as a preventive measure against fatigue. But for more pronounced effects on stress or on physical and mental performance, dosages ranging from 288 to 680 milligrams are generally used in studies. However, even in studies, the active ingredient content is not always the same. So, for Rhodiola, We based it on scientific studies and formulated a product containing 250 milligrams per capsule with 5% Rosavin and 1.8% salidroside. And so, just one capsule is enough, unlike other brands that require 2 to 3 capsules for an equivalent effect. And you even have to be careful because sometimes there are Rhodiola Rosea products that aren't even standardized for salidroside. For ashwagandha, since we have a lot more scientific studies, we also have more information about the dosages. Withanolides are the main active compounds in ashwagandha. Some extracts are standardized to contain a defined percentage of them. Generally, it's between 1.5% and up to 35% in clinical studies. However, same issue, many studies don't specify the active content, and the optimal amount remains uncertain. It's also important to note that the effects can vary depending on the extraction methods, the formulation, or the exact composition of the product. But if your goal is to reduce stress with ashwagandha, then for adults, doses ranging from 120 to 600 milligrams per day for 4 to 12 weeks have shown a decrease in stress and cortisol. If your goal is sleep, to improve sleep quality, alertness, and sleep duration, doses of 600 milligrams per day are the most common. It's important to note that ashwagandha works just as well for people with insomnia as it does for those who already sleep pretty well. For men's hormonal health, 600 to 5,000 milligrams for 8 to 12 weeks can increase testosterone, fertility, and sexual function. Be careful, those are still high doses. For women, 300 milligrams twice a day have shown positive effects on estrogen and menopause symptoms. For mood and psychological effects, doses ranging from 120 to 1,000 milligrams per day over several weeks have shown a reduction in anxiety and support for cognitive functions. For the immune system, ashwagandha improves immune markers at doses from 60 milligrams up to 1,000 milligrams over 4 to 16 weeks. Finally, let's talk about physical performance. For both athletes and beginners, doses ranging from 120 to 1,250 milligrams per day for 2 to 8 weeks improve strength, endurance, and recovery. So take it easy with the dosages, because ashwagandha can cause more frequent side effects. That's why it's important to dose carefully and increase gradually. So now, it's up to you to choose based on your needs. But this time, it's my turn to ask the question. I'm curious. Have you ever tried one, the other, or both? What effects did you feel with one or the other, and which one is your favorite? Tell me all about it in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.